use day 7 of our No Nonsense November 30-day challenge to supersize and grow your business. Can you do it? I think that you can. Today's topic is, and all this week we've talked about, I decided this year I would do weekly themes. So the first week is all about taking full ownership and responsibility of our business and our life and of really everything that we're involved in, because we're the only one that can take 100% full responsibility for that. So we've talked about radical responsibility. We've talked about clarity is power. We talked about dropping and letting go of the drama and being consistent and reliable. We talked about change and the impact and the ability to choose to change and to embrace change so that it doesn't become a drag on our business. We talked about the power of discipline, which again, I don't really love the word discipline, but I do like the word self-discipline, because I'm the only one that can monitor and regulate, which is a whole new term for me since I came on the school platform, how we self-regulate, self-leadership, personal leadership. I'm hearing all these things that I haven't noticed or seen before, and it's actually really exciting, right? Boundaries, we talked about yesterday, the importance of having boundaries in our business. You know, I don't any longer take any calls unless it's an absolute emergency from one of my one-on-one coaching students after really 8:30 p.m. my time. So somebody across the world, it better be an emergency if you're contacting me via Voxer or phone, because something's going on. And sometimes it is, but it's rare. I think in the last 10 years, maybe a handful of times, I've needed to do that. And that's my boundary, because I need rest and reflection and peace and to do the things that I need to do to recharge my batteries so that I can show up every day. So today's topic is reflect and reset if necessary. We want to pause today, think about what's going on and what's happened the first 7 days. Ask ourselves some tough questions today, like, am I really taking 100% ownership for everything that happens in my business? Guess what? Legally, if you have a business and it's a separate entity, even if it's a separate entity, you're still 100% responsible for everything that happens in that business. That means not only what you do, but what everybody in your organization does as well. Because somebody can come and sue you if somebody in your organization does something wrong. Crazy, right? But it's also very, very powerful. So today we're going to review what we've done so far, where we're at in the challenge so far, adjust and do what's necessary to keep us moving forward to one thing every day. Maybe you haven't scheduled time to work on the challenge every day. If you haven't, I would say pick the best half hour of the day for you, and it won't always take a half hour. Then you get a couple extra minutes to grab a cup of coffee, let the sun shine on your face, do again whatever works for you to recharge your batteries and keep you going throughout the rest of your day. Those are just some things that work for me. And we have to remember that, and I didn't really used to do this. I do it, but I'd move on to the next thing so quickly. I barely actually experienced and absorbed the lessons learned and the what's happened, and what's next type things. I always had the what's next and started working on it even before I reflected on what had gone before, what worked, what didn't work. You know, I call it the good, the bad, the ugly, because there's always an upside. Anything that happens to us in our business and in our life, there is a positive way of spinning it and looking at it, and a negative way of spinning and looking at it. I have learned that the lessons learned is the positive way of spinning the things that I've absolutely positively screwed up in my businesses and in my life. And guess what? I've got thousands of those things that I didn't do right the first time, and I had to tweak and test and change and morph into something that did finally work. Sometimes it wasn't 10,000 times like poor Thomas Edison with the light bulb, but sometimes it felt like 10,000 times by the time I was at my 10th or 20th iteration of something, right? Before it finally clicked and worked. But that's how we learn to grow. And now, usually I only have to try things 1 or 2 times before I get some momentum and something to work. But it used to be hundreds of times I'd have to try to figure things out. Sometimes I think I'm slow, but I know I'm not. So today, I already started reflecting while I was getting ready this morning to do videos, and realized that this year in the No Nonsense November Challenge, I did not build in already yet. We're a week in, and I just realized this. That's why reflection is a great thing to do. Our process that we created for the Be a Better You, and I'm doing it in the Supersize Your Business, this group, challenge this year. And so I want to add it in, but I think the best way and the easiest way to do that is to double it up on top of the topics I've already planned. I already planned out this whole month's topics. So I don't want to abandon them because I did like weekly themes and I want to keep going with that. So let's look at the next couple weeks themes and then decide where it fits best. Next week is build momentum, which I almost think that's where it fits, which would mean I'd have to start tomorrow. I was thinking Monday, but I'll start tomorrow if that sounds okay to everybody. I need you to hit me up in the comments below today so that I know if that works. Otherwise, I'll save it until the last week of the month, which is lead, impact, and expand, which you can go there too. But I think if we do it this second week of the challenge, which is days 8 through 14, doesn't start on a nice Monday or anything. It starts Saturday. So I think I'll do that. I think, unless I hear otherwise, I'm going to add it starting tomorrow, and we'll double up, and it'll just be simple. I'll keep both action items simple, but instead of having one action item for the next 7 days, we'll have 2. And it won't be hard because we've done this before. And if you haven't done it before and you're just being introduced to it, it is such a powerful framework. I think you'll be pleased that you decided to. So what I need you to do today as part of your action item, which I didn't share, but you can do it when you're reflecting because that is our action item. I'm going to challenge you to find a half hour in your day to schedule to spend just on you and your business. This challenge is all about you being a better version of yourself so that you can grow and build and supersize your business. So that might take a half an hour a day. Might be first thing in the morning, might be right before you go to bed. All my things that I absolutely have to do and are most important for me personally and professionally, I do right before I go to bed, and I have scheduled in an extra half hour as part of my bedtime routine or my nighttime routine. Sometimes I do it earlier to make sure I have all my ducks in the row for tomorrow. Why? Because if I think about it, if I feed it to my brain right before I go to bed, I think about it and my brain comes up with solutions and answers like you didn't build in the ideas process. So what I want you to do is think about one challenge or one goal you've got for your business that's critically important to you. And I want you to share that in the comments below. Something that you want to achieve by the end of this year, right? You can sit it in a SMART goal format if you want, but I just want you to come up with a topic and a thing that you want to do by the end of the year for your business. Share that in the comments below so I make sure that I tailor the ideas process toward what most people are looking for, or I touch on everybody's needs and desires for that to make it quicker and easier to use as part of the No Nonsense November challenge. So what are we doing? We are going to reflect. I want you to take that half hour today and actually reflect on and review this week so far. We talked about it a little earlier, but what worked, what didn't work for you, what drained you. There was day before yesterday, I think I woke up just feeling owly. And I pretty much always wake up in a good mood, but I was just off and I couldn't figure out why. And then I sat down and reflected for a couple minutes and realized that there's so many things in me and in my businesses that are changing right now that it can get to be a little stressful and overwhelming. And I was feeling all that pressure. I was feeling it in my body. And I just had to take some deep breaths. I listened to a meditation and I just let it go. And within about 5 minutes, I was feeling like my usual self again. So take this half hour, reflect, see what comes up for you, and then think about your topic that you want to add our ideas framework and process to. And we'll start that tomorrow. Just came up with that. We're going to start it tomorrow. Unless I hear otherwise, we'll do it the last week of the month, if that works better for people. But I would like to get it and nail it tomorrow because there's something I want to work on too. All right. Any questions? Ask. Otherwise, today, find your half an hour. Everybody has an half an hour in their schedule. I don't know very many people that were busier than me in the decades I was literally running through my life, but I still found half an hour to do things that were for me and to make me a better person, and so I could grow and study and learn, etc. All right. If you need help with this, just ask. Otherwise, I will be with you tomorrow.